victory. Manchester United 2, FCSB Bucharest 0. Just as I predicted in my preview of the game last night, Manchester United 2-0 winners, moving into the round of 16. No playoff games, automatically through. It's a great feeling, and all I can say is the fact that it happened after the second half, and it was mainly due to the fact that the substitutes came on and just played with passion, heart, determination, fervor, and just out and out Manchester United attitude. That's what brought this victory for us, which is absolutely wonderful. Happy that this happened. Manchester United, like I said, once again, through to the round of 16. 2-0 victors over FCSB. First time against this team, and hey, 1-0 against them. I will take that as a beginning streak against them, maybe. Wonderful feeling. You know, it's always wonderful to end a day on a high with a Manchester United victory. Let's breathe it in. Breathe it in. In with the good, out with the bad. Now we need to carry that into the weekend matchup in the Premier League and throughout the remainder of the season. As I stated in my preview for the matchup today, United need to come in with an attitude. The first half was very monotonous. There wasn't a lot of attack mentality. It was very humdrum, to be quite honest with you. But then all of a sudden, the second half comes in, and from the get-go, Garnacho comes in. Xerxes comes in, and we just had a different pace on the ball and a different pace in the matchup itself. We built up a feeling of urgency and of fervor, as I was saying that we needed to have, in my preview. And Manchester United came in and ended up getting the win that we absolutely needed to get. So as I stated before, we do not need to go into any kind of two-legged playoff match in February next month. We could just sit back, not have the extra game, and go in to the round of 16. Beautiful. Do I like Ronaldo? Jan, what's going on? How are you? Name a cat. Well, if you have Taco Cat and you spell it backwards, it's still Taco Cat. What do you guys think about the game today? Manchester United 2, FCSB 0 in the Europa League. We have progressed on to the round of 16. What happened to my eye? I don't know. I woke up in the morning and it just ran away. Oh, name a car. Didn't we already do this before? I could have sworn we had. Because I'm pretty much sure that I said a 78 Trans Am. Name of wolf. I don't got a name for a wolf, sorry. Name food for meme. Lasagna? I don't know. Let's stick to football, guys. Manchester United in the round of 16. Very happy with that. Manchester United's pass accuracy was a 90%, just looking at the screen here, to FCS's 70. 6 corners to 3 in favor of United. Both teams had 2 offsides calls against them. Manchester United had 10 fouls to FCS's 14. Who is LeBron James? A wannabe Michael Jordan. Yo, Uniel, what's going on? Hope you're doing all right. So nice to get off of work, come home, see United winning a matchup. It makes the day that much better, coming home from a long day at work and being able to relish the fact that my team had a wonderful game. As I said, I woke up one morning and it was just gone. It just was like, deuces, walked away. Ah, thank you. Appreciate you. Just a little punk hooligan kid who loves his football and his punk rock music and, just a little freaky. The performance for the boys was very, very good. Like I said, first half was a little slow. It took a little bit to get out of the blocks in the first half, but then they decided to pick up steam in the second half and really, really press the ball, press the issue, and they absolutely dominated the second half. Yes, the game ended in a 2-0, but it could have easily been 5 or 6-0. Name music. Are you talking band? Are you talking artist? Are you talking a genre of music? Uniel, I hope you have a great day as well. Today has turned out to be quite a lovely day. Had a good day at work. United wins. It's always top notch. Like shimmy shimmy yay. I guess I don't understand what shimmy shimmy yay is. Hello from Romania, Alex. Thank you for being here. Hello from Wyoming, USA. Um, okay. I apologize for the frowny face yawn. How about Rancid? I'll just name a band. How's that? Hmm. All right, so getting back into the football discussion here. As I said, United have made it into the round of 16. No playoff games in February, which is great. Also means that Manchester United have more training time available as opposed to stressing about, uh, playing extra games. Oh, from Poland. Awesome. Thank you for being here. As I said, I am in from Wyoming, USA. Um, yeah, I think Poland would be a cool place to check out one of these days. Thank you for the heart. Appreciate it. Cheers. It's amazing. Manchester United played the second half and they brought in a bunch of the young players, such as Garnacho, such as Mainu, such as Ahmad. And that's when the game turned around and Manchester United really pulled ahead in this game. And I stated in the game against Fulham over the weekend, play the fucking kids. Quit relying on these older players that are, on the wrong side of 30 and that are heading towards that wrong side of 30 and play the youth. Manchester United has always relied on the young kids, relied on the academy, relied on, young energy. It won them the game against Fulham. It won them the game against Rangers last week. It won them the game today. Play the fucking kids. There's your answer. Don't worry about buying these old ass players. That's what United has been doing as like stop gaps over the last 5-10 years. You look at United brought in Cavani. They brought in um I hate to say it because he's one of my favorites, but they brought in Zlatan for that. They brought in um oh god, what was his name? Um I'm totally blanking on his name off the top of my head. Um Oh, Val Veghorst. There you go. There's the name. They brought him in. All these guys that are just kind of stopgap players when we have young talent in the academy, when we have young players that we can bring in from, younger, lesser known teams, I should say, not even younger teams, just, from league to the championship, etc., that need exposure and build them up in our team. Bring up these young kids. Youth wins things because they are more hungry than these older players that have won things prior to coming to United. That's what United has been built upon for years. So I'm hoping that this is something that Manchester United does. Top 10 players, Thalos? Wow. Oh, man. Now, are you talking for just United or are you talking all time? Because those are two completely different things. Because I definitely have a top 10 United and a top 10 all time. Now, I will say in my top 10 all time, there are definitely a couple United players as well. Okay, so, thank you for the subscribe, Jan. I appreciate you. Okay, Manchester United, all time top 10. And this isn't in any necessity order except for my number one, I will say first, and that is Eric Cantona, number one. He's the reason I became a United fan. So it would have to go Cantona, Cristiano Ronaldo, David Beckham, Roy Keane, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Andy Cole, Yap Stam, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Top 10 all-time players. Eric Cantona is still number one. He made me fall in love with football. He truly did. Truly made me fall in love with football. I was, playing as a young kid from the age of 5. And before, I really started following, teams overseas, I didn't really know professional football. And then my cousin Sean sat me down one day to watch a game. He's been a Wolves supporter for decades, for years. And he had me sit down and watch a Wolves game with him, and they just happened to be playing Manchester United. This is like 95, 96. And I just happened to be watching the game with him, and I just happened to see Eric Cantona on the ball, and he was just, I don't know, he was just floating across the pitch, and I was like, who is this? This guy's amazing. And he was just doing things that I just obviously never seen because I'd never seen a professional football match, of course. And that just legitimately made me fall in love with the game. And from that moment on, I was a Manchester United supporter. I didn't even though my cousin was trying to make me a Wolves supporter, I was a Red from the word go. And now here it is, 2025, 42 years old, still a United fan. Will always be. It's in blood. It's ingrained. Let's see. So top 10 all time. So as I said, number one, Eric Cantona. Still would have Cristiano Ronaldo in there. Ronaldinho's in there. Gotta love Maradona. Zlatan is in there because I loved his attitude. He wasn't always the greatest footballer. He's not in that upper echelon like your Ronaldo's, like your Messi's, like your Maradona's, your Pele's. But he had a swagger about him that I always loved. So definitely Zlatan's in there. Paul Scholes is in there. God, there's so many. God, it's so hard to choose. I've always been a defender, so Sergio Ramos, I've always been a huge admirer of him. Also, surprisingly enough, Ramos is a family name on my mother's side, so that's kind of another reason why I gravitated to Sergio Ramos, because of my mother's maiden name. So Ramos is definitely high on my list. So let's see, that's what, 6, I think. Let's see, Cantona, Ronaldo, Zlatan, Ronaldinho, Maradona, Sergio Ramos. God, there's too many freaking ones to choose. Holy cow. You know what? I gotta give credit where credit is due. Mbappe has carried France over the last few years. He's definitely a stellar kid. So I gotta give credit to him. I've always liked watching Antoine Griezmann, so he's up there. He's a flashy player. And Hey man, I've always been the greatest player, but he's the guy I've always loved watching, David Beckham. And I got to throw a goalkeeper in there, and that has to be Iker Casillas of Real Madrid. Now when it comes to Real Madrid and Barcelona, it has to be a la Madrid. 100%. I am a Real Madrid supporter. Underrated players. God, I have not thought about an underrated top 10 players, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's see. If you were a coach in Manchester, who would be your choice to recruit and rebuild the club? To be honest with you, something that happened that I really, really think was a stupid decision, because I honestly think that given the time he would have done well, was we should have kept Ole as our manager. I truly believe they gave him the time and the resources that they spent on Ten Hag and that they are trying to do with Ruben Amorim. I think he could have actually done something for the team, because he actually put Manchester United's ethos back in the club after Mourinho destroyed it, after um, after Louis Van Gaal and after David Moyes destroyed it. Only brought that Manchester United feeling back. Um, do I think Ruben Amorim is a good coach? I do think he is. I think the the main issue with him right now is the players are so used to being able to have player power and throw their managers under the bus that he isn't getting out of them what he wants. He had 100% power when he was managing over at Sporting in Portugal, and he doesn't have that same type of power in Manchester because of the hierarchy above him. You got your Glazers, you got the sporting directors, you got Ineos, all this above him. He doesn't have the same kind of stroke that he had in Sporting in Lisbon. So I don't know how it's going to pan out. I do believe that Ruben Amorim is a good coach. Now, is he going to be the guy to turn it around for United? I honestly, obviously none of us know, but I do think that he is a good coach with good tactics. If he can get the right players in, yeah, he could. I think Ten Hag was a decent coach. I don't think that he was quite Premier League uh, proven enough, if that makes any sense. He's a great cup coach. I mean, obviously, we won the FA Cup last year. We won the Carabao Cup the year before. He's great in tournaments. When it's cups on the line, he can do it. But for longevity, when it comes to week in, week out league status, I don't think he was inept enough in the Premier League. If I could have picked a manager to come in right now, other than Amorim, I would have totally stolen Ancelotti from Real Madrid. That dude is a 100% proven winner. He tried to do it in Everton, and when he saw that the Everton board weren't going to back him, he left and went back to Real Madrid. And look what he's done since. He won them their 10th Champions League. He's won them multiple La Liga titles. He's won them another Champions League on top of that. Um, I don't know. There's definitely a lot of managers that I think could do the job, but not with the hierarchy that we have in place now. I think that it was a mistake for Ineos to get in bed with the Glazers. I think United should have sold to Qatar 100% sale and gotten out of the Glazers' hands altogether, gotten rid of them, gotten 100% sale. I still want that to happen. I do not want the Glazers to have their fucking grubby hands on this club anymore. When was prime Manchester United for us? Oh my God. The entire 30-year period that we had under Sir Alex Ferguson. 100%. I was very lucky in the fact that I came into the club right at the beginning of the powers of the class of 92, because they, had won the treble 2 years after I started following the team. And then a couple years after that, we sold Beckham, brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. They started building off of him. They brought in Wayne Rooney. They brought in Carlos Tevez. They brought in Rio Ferdinand. They brought in Nemanja Vidic. They brought in just so many big name, legendary players. Patrice Evra, freaking David De Gea, Edwin van der Sar. Just so many players. So, I would say yeah. Let me show you here. My bookshelf here. A Beckham book, a Beckham book, a Beckham book, a Beckham book, Beckham DVD, another Beckham book, another Beckham book. Jimmy Murphy book, Alex Ferguson book, Eric Cantona book, Cristiano Ronaldo, a Beckham book. Yeah, Beckham was my dude back in the day. Definitely was an influence on me. I was a right back and a right wing when I played when I was a kid, all the way through high school. So, I definitely was influenced by him and, a lot of the Manchester players. You can ask how to say some of the words in Polish. Okay. How would you say great in Polish? And yeah, I'm definitely a huge Bex fan. That's my dude. I agree with you, Thalos, 100%. Dobre? Now, do you guys roll your R's like brr? What do I know about PSG? Way too much money and still can't buy a Champions League. They spent way too much money and they got beat by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, or as they called him, the gym teacher. All I can say is that night in Paris was one of the greatest Champions League nights of my life. Like, no joke, when that night happened, when United beat PSG at home, when that free kick happened that Marcus Rashford scored, let me give you the scenario here. So I was at work. So when it was nighttime in Paris when that happened, it was midday here where I live in Wyoming in the USA. I was in a forklift doing my job. I was, maneuvering pallets of stuff outside. I was listening to the game in my earphones, and I heard that, they called the handball. United needed to score in order to win and move on to the next round. I literally was driving my forklift. One of my crew members was driving in another forklift. He was coming opposite of me, so like this, right? Legitimately, Rashford scored. I forgot to put the forklift in park. I jumped out of it, ripped off my jacket to reveal my United jersey, started swinging it around my head and screaming in the parking lot. It was the greatest thing ever. My coworker was cracking up, laughing at me, calling me a freaking whack job. It was great. Like I said, ripped off my jacket. My United jersey was under my uniform. I'm screaming my head off. It was, it was snowing. It was cold. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. And like legitimately, that was the night that I came home and decided to start this channel. So yeah, that was the night that all this right here began. I decided, you know what? I got to get involved because my love for this team has been that much of a passion for so long that I was like, you know what, I may not ever make money doing this, but to just be able to express it in a way that I can just put it out there just makes it all worthwhile. And if you can't tell, it has been a lifelong obsession. I have had United stuff in my life, my whole life. Like, it's actually really funny. My ex-wife, my daughter's mother, and my current wife both have made the comment that neither one of them were my first love. Manchester United were. And I tell them straightforward, you're absolutely right. Because the one thing that I can say, and it comes from the saying that Eric Cantona said in an interview many years ago, and it hit me to my core. You can change your wife, you can change your religion, you can change your politics, but you can never change your football team. And that hit me to the core. And it is ingrained in my skin, in my blood, and in my soul. 100%. The most important Manchester moment for me, man, I really don't know which would be my most important moment, but I would say the one that will always and forever stick out for me is the one that says, and Solskjaer has won it. That was the single greatest moment to me, because that was when I realized that no matter what happens, United can always pull off a miracle. And Ole, when he became the manager for us, I was like, United can always pull it off. And he did many times. I would love to see him back as manager one day. You never know. We are loyal, not like French guys in Paris. I love it. I love it. 100%. Yep. It's funny. I saw a meme, speaking of loyalty and United fans. It had this guy and this girl, they were on a date. Like this guy and this girl on a date, and she looks at him and goes, so how I know you'll be loyal? And he just opens his jacket up and he's wearing a Manchester United jersey. And he goes, does this tell you enough? And I was like, yes, that's all you need to know. It's all you need to know. The next live is a kid playing football. Kids these days, you know, my daughter is 18, almost 19. She'll be 19 in March. And it's funny, when she got into high school, you know, she was wearing one of her United jerseys that I got her. And there was this kid at her school that she had been talking to, that she was, you know, just being friends with. And it was like, oh, you're a Manchester United fan? She's like, yeah. And this kid was like, oh, I like Liverpool. My kid, this is how I knew I raised her right. She goes, oh. And she walks away. I was the proudest fucking dad in the world. This kid told her that he was a Liverpool fan. My daughter turned and walked away. I was like, you know what? That's a proud dad moment right there. She won't talk with the Liverpool fan. So I did something right in my life. So, Dallas, let me ask you, since you were asking me one, who are your, I won't go top 10, I'll say top 5 Manchester United players. You know, I have a respect for Dortmund. My grandmother on my mom's side is full-blooded German, and that was her team. So I will say I respect Dortmund. I mean, they won't ever be my team because that will always be United. But you know, I like Dortmund for the fact that they are the working man's team out there, not like Bayern where they're like just hugely money. But yeah, there will never be another team that I will love like United ever. Gotta say, I'm very impressed with our young goalkeeper today, Altai Bayendir. The last two games that he's played really changed my mind about him because the first couple games he played for us, I definitely thought that he was going to be a liability, kind of like Andre Onana. That's one guy that I'm not too keen on still. I think that he deserves to play more than Onana does, Bayendir. I still think that we should have kept De Gea. I've gone through that before. Eric was epic. Cristiano, Dennis Law. Fuck yeah, respect to Dennis Law. Respect to Dennis Law. That was such a heartbreak to read that news last week when he passed. Bex, of course. Amen to that. Uh, yeah. Yeah, I literally had just gotten home from work. And as I walked in, my wife was like, "Honey, did you hear the news?" And I was like, "What's the news?" And she flips her phone around to show me that he had passed. And I was just like, "Are you kidding?" But you know what? I will have to say the Holy Trinity is reunited in heaven. And they're probably schooling everybody. And I wish I could be watching that game because that would be amazing. Can you imagine the football games going on in heaven? You'll have the Holy Trinity against Pele and Maradona and Zico. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be awesome to witness. But guys, I'm going to go and end the live stream here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check the links here on the channel for the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, and the TikTok as well, so we can continue conversations on here. I absolutely love conversing with every single one of you guys. I go live with every single game. I do try to live stream each game on the weekends. So be sure to be here during the games if you can, because I will be live streaming on the weekends. The weekday games are kind of hard for me to live stream, but I always do a post match like this. So be sure to stay tuned for those. And like I said, check the links in the bio for the Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter pages. I am going to be starting a Patreon for this as well. So be sure to check out that coming up soon as well. And until then, guys, this is the One-Eyed United guy, keeping United. United pulls off a 2-0 victory, and United are on to the round of 16 in the Europa League. I hope you guys had a great day, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.